welcome back to Otaku no Video. As always, thank you very much for joining me for part 4 of my primer on Leiji Matsumoto, the legendary anime creator and director. Now, in the previous videos, I've talked about his early work in the 70s and his huge Space Pirate Captain Harlock franchise and the Galaxy Express 999 franchises. Now I want to talk about some of his more recent stuff. Starting with Interstella 5555, the story of the Secret Star System. How I love this thing. Basically, you may have heard of Daft Punk. They are a electronica, specifically a house band, coming out of Europe. And while they were doing their album Discovery, they got the idea to basically approach Leiji Matsumoto and ask him to do an anime adaptation of their album. They grew up watching Captain Harlock and other things like that over in Europe, and so they really wanted to get him. They kind of begged him to do this thing. So he agreed, and he supervised the project. Didn't direct it, but supervised it, did the character designs and so forth, for a full-length animated film, of which the soundtrack is the Daft Punk album Discovery. So it starts with the first Daft Punk song, and you get, animation along with that. There's no dialogue. There are only a few little sound effects, just for certain, important moments. But the vast majority of it is just Daft Punk music combined with Leiji Matsumoto visuals, and tells the story of you're gonna love this, an alien pop band that is kidnapped and brought to the U.S. or brought to Earth and made into a global sensation, so that their music can cause an evil record producer to become immortal. Yeah, it's awesome. And there's this whole big thing. There's this pilot that gets involved. It's fantastic. No dialogue. And Interstella 5555 is available in all sorts of places. And one of the nice things is, because there's no dialogue, there's no need to subtitle it or dub it. You just watch it and listen to the music. And the words and the lyrics of the music, what little there is, really don't inform what's going on screen. The music is used as the tone of that. So it's really, really cool. Interstellar is a really, really fun thing, and you can find it all over the place. So that's been one of his more recent major works, and that's been really the only major anime thing that he's been directly involved in recently. But we recently were informed that there is going to be a Space Battleship Yamato live-action CGI movie made in Japan. So they're going to do a whole big movie thing of that, and the stuff looks pretty good. I've actually been impressed by what I've seen of the trailer. Should be coming out soon, and will tell the story of the Yamato and all that kind of stuff. Moreover, just very recently, Toei Animation announced they're going to do a CGI live-action Captain Harlock movie. It's going to be very interesting, because Harlock is really ideal for a CGI story, because it's action-adventure, but it's also, Matsumoto's a more, his stories are more about human problems and so forth. You can have a lot of stuff with Harlock and other characters interacting, and less of the CGI stuff. And the CGI stuff is basically window dressing for Harlock being awesome, and the other characters as well. So that should be really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that will work out. And they've assembled an all-star crew to work on this particular movie. I mean, Shinji Aramaki is working on it, and a bunch of other important people. So that's really cool, and we'll look to see where that will go. So Matsumoto remains as popular as ever over in Japan. He's still alive, and he's still responsible for all sorts of interesting new stuff coming out in Japan. So long may he live. He's been a really remarkable force in anime for decades and decades, and it's just really cool having something like this around. So those are the main things. I hope you find some stuff in here that you find entertaining, and until next time, find more cool anime to watch.